Crypto Caesar Capital. Hope you're well. It's the 4th of January 2025. Happy New Year to all my subscribers, followers, everyone in the group. I hope you had a good Christmas. So here we go. It's Q1 2025. And as you know from my previous video, things kind of start heating up in Q1. So quite a lot to look forward to this financial quarter. So next 3 months should be pretty good, I reckon, for Bitcoin and crypto. And most importantly, altcoins. Altcoins are going to go, I think, on a pretty epic rally fairly soon, I would say. Before we get into that, a quick plug for the group. If you want to join the VIP group, then please reach out to us on either Twitter or via the website. A premium membership for a full 12 months membership is $4.99. Obviously absolutely worth it. So just reach out to us either via the website or on Twitter. Both of the links are in the description. Okay, without further ado, let's have a look. So this video is going to be about the alt season that is upon us. Now, a lot of people have been calling an alt season for months and months. Some people have been calling an alt season since the low back in November 2022. I was very conservative about that. I was quite clear that Bitcoin dominance needed to get to at least 58% before we would see the beginning of an alt season. And it seems I was right about that. Now, the first thing is this. The case for an alt season is pretty strong in my view. The first thing is this, is that Bitcoin is now beyond the midpoint of the cycle. The midpoint is a very, very important part of the cycle. And as you can see here, the cycle is measured not through halvings, not from peak to peak, but from low to low, because that's how cycles end and begin. So for example, this was the low in January when the first cycle ended and a new cycle began, and the low from January 2015 to the low in December 18 was 206 bars, so 206 weeks. 208 weeks is 4 years. And then we had the low in December 18 through to the low in November 2022. And that was 206 bars again, so 206 weeks, 208 weeks is 4 years. This is how Bitcoin works. It basically travels in a 4-year cycle from low to low, and it takes 4 years to get there. The important thing, or the interesting thing about this is the midpoint. This is the midpoint. The midpoint is basically halfway between each cycle low. So it's the halfway point, if you want to call it that. We call it the midpoint. And at the midpoint, what Bitcoin does, interestingly, you can see here back in 2013, as soon as it gets past the midpoint, it rallies to the upside, it breaks its previous all-time high. Next midpoint, rallies to the upside, breaches its previous all-time high. Next midpoint, rallies to the upside, breaches its previous all-time high. Again, this midpoint, November 2024, rallies above the previous all-time high. And the cycle works like that. Now, so far so good. The cycle seems to me to be working as it always has done. And interestingly, or importantly enough, we are now past the midpoint. And what happens at the midpoint of the cycle? Well, Bitcoin rallies to the upside and altcoins follow. And that's the point when Bitcoin dominance starts breaking down. And we'll look at that in a moment. But the first important point is that we are now beyond the midpoint. And that has always historically told us that Bitcoin will now start to grind pretty hard to the upside, and some altcoins, some of the strongest altcoins, will start to begin to outperform Bitcoin. Now, the first metric I want to look at is the total market cap. Okay, so this is crypto total market cap. This is the total market cap of crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the cryptos. Now, as we can see here, there was a clear flag created or a poll created for a flag. Let's mark it out. So we had here the poll, and then there was some consolidation, creating the flag, and then a breakout to the upside. It's now broken above the previous all-time high and tested it perfectly, back tested. So it's gearing up now to continue to the upside. Okay, that's the first point. So the total crypto market cap has now broken out and is going to, in my view, continue to trend to the upside. The second metric we want to look at is total 2. So total 2 is essentially the total market cap of crypto minus Bitcoin. And as you can see here, we are very, very close to breaking out. The breakout point is 1.68 trillion. We are now 1.47 trillion. There was a go at breaking out, but a failed attempt, pull back, and now we're going again. Likelihood is, I think, this quarter we are going to break above 1.6 trillion and then start to trend above it. That is a really good indication that Altseason is very, very close. As soon as we break above 1.6, 1.7 trillion, then that is the point when Altseason will begin. Now, let's take a look at the next metric. The next metric is total 3. So total 3 is the total market cap of crypto, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, this chart is very similar to the last one. It's very similar to total 2 in that we are right at the precipice, right at the point potentially of breaking above. To break above this, it needs to be 1.13 trillion. We are now trading at 1.04 trillion. There was a failed attempt to break, a pullback at the resistance point, and now it's going again. And my view is Q1 is going to get above that area of resistance and then start to trend higher. That is going to push the altcoins much, much higher. The next is total, others. So others is essentially a metric which measures all of the top, well, it's the top 150 cryptos, excluding Bitcoin. It's a pretty good metric. You can take a look at it here on TradingView. But this one is essentially all the sort of mid to smaller cap cryptos. And it's a good metric to follow those because once this breaks out, again, that is going to indicate that an alt season is upon us. Again, it's done the same as all the other metrics. It's come up to the point of resistance, which is at 450 billion or so. It's rejected, and now it's going for a second attempt. It's very, very close to breaking out. And when it does break out, it's going to signal a pretty epic alt season. So all of these things, the total market cap already broken out. Total 2, which is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, is very close to breaking out. Total 3, again, very close to breaking out. Of course, this is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. That is also close to breaking out. And others, the top 150 cryptos minus Bitcoin, is also very close to breaking out. Now, the last point is this, Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance has to be pretty high before an alt season starts. Now you can look back in history and you can see the beginning of the alt season. This is the midpoint here of the cycle, this vertical dotted line. Of course, at the midpoint of the cycle, that's when Bitcoin breaks its previous all-time high. A lot of strength comes into the market, a lot of excitement comes into the market, and that's when altcoins start to rally. So Bitcoin dominance back in 2016 at the midpoint, beginning of the alt season, was 96%. Then it started to really decline heavy, and that's when the alts went absolutely crazy. Again, the midpoint in December 2020, when Bitcoin broke its previous all-time high, Bitcoin dominance was at 73%. Then it quickly started to decline, and that's when the altcoins went absolutely crazy. Here, I was calling 58 to 60%. It got to 61%, which is a slight deviation above this area of resistance at 58%. But it's come up, it's come back down, and then there's a retest, and it's now breaking down again. So once this starts to break down, which it's starting to now, that is when the alts are going to go absolutely epic. Not all altcoins are going to go crazy. Some altcoins might go up a little bit. Some altcoins might zombie. But the stronger altcoins, the ones that have the strong narrative, or the blue chip altcoins, the top 20 altcoins are going to really start pushing and likely going to outperform Bitcoin. So you've got all these metrics. And let's go through them again. You've got the 4-year cycle and the midpoint. We passed the midpoint. That indicates Bitcoin is now going to start pushing. We've got seasonality. Q1 is always a strong quarter for Bitcoin. That's a very good indicator. We've got the total market cap of crypto, which is now broken out, back tested the area which would have been resistance, but now is support. That's looking strong. Then we have total 2, very close to breaking out. Total 3, very close to breaking out. Others, very close to breaking out. And then lastly, Bitcoin dominance underneath 58%, looking like it's going to start sort of, falling off a cliff here because it's just topped out here. It really, really has simply topped out. So all of these things collectively suggest to me that we are on the precipice of a very, very strong altcoin season. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last. It very much depends how long Bitcoin dominance can hold up. But what I can say is that once Bitcoin dominance, and if it does get there, if Bitcoin dominance gets down into this green area here between 43 and 38%, once it gets anywhere close to that, I would start being very, very cautious about my altcoin positions and start looking to take profit. I don't know how long this is going to last. It could last just one financial quarter. It could last Q1. We could have a cool off, and then there could be another push during the end of Q3 into Q4. Who knows? But what I do know is that we have waited now in my VIP group for a significant period of time. Right back here, I was calling, when Bitcoin dominance was at 40%, I was calling 58 to 60%. No one wanted to listen, but it looks like I was right on that call. But what is clear to me now is when we look at the 4-year cycle, the midpoint, all of the metrics around altcoins, they are very, very close to breaking out. And it's my view that there is a very high chance that this financial Q1, is going to be a super strong quarter for the altcoins. So that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to join the group, reach out to me on Twitter or equally email us via the website. Happy New Year, and I shall speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.